Misoprostol uses and doses in management of pregnancy complications. So let's look at indication, dosage, and notes. So for induced abortion, that's 0 to 8 weeks. The dosage, you give misoprostol 800 micrograms vaginally or orally or sublingually, 3 to 12 hourly with a maximum of 3 doses. And so a few things to note. So ideally, it's used 24 to 48 hours after mifepristone oral 200 milligrams. For induced abortion, 9 to 12 weeks, you give me misoprostol 800 micrograms vaginally, followed by misoprostol 400 micrograms vaginally or sublingually every 3 hours hourly with a maximum of 3 doses. So ideally, it's used 24 to 48 hours after mifepristone oral, that's 200 milligrams. Missed abortion, 0 to 12 weeks, you give misoprostol 800 micrograms vaginally if needed, and you repeat those in 24 to 42 to 72 hours, or you give misoprostol 600 micrograms sublingually, followed by 2 additional doses if needed, 3 hourly. You give 2 doses and leave to work for 1 to 2 days unless heavy bleeding or infection. For incomplete abortion, 0 to 12 weeks, use 600 micrograms misoprostol orally as start with a single dose taken immediately, and leave to work for 2 days unless heavy bleeding or infection. For induced abortion, 13 to 24 weeks, to give 400 micrograms vaginally 3 to 4 hourly with a maximum of 5 doses. Ideally, used 48 hours after mifepristone oral, that's 200 milligrams. So a lower misoprostol dose of less than 200 micrograms may be used with caution in women with cesarean scar, only under specialist supervision. For intrauterine fetal death, that's less than 28 weeks, you give misoprostol in 13 to 17 weeks, you give 200 micrograms 6 hourly, and for 18 to 28 weeks, you give misoprostol 10 micrograms 6 hourly. Misoprostol should be used with caution in women with cesarean scar and only under specialist supervision. For intrauterine fetal death, as more than 28 weeks, or 28 to 42 weeks, you give misoprostol, and for 25 to 50, you give 25 to 50 micrograms for hourly. You do not minister to women with previous cesarean section or other uterine scar. Induction of labor, as live fetus more than 28 weeks, you give 25 micrograms vaginally 4 hourly, or 50 micrograms orally 4 hourly, or 20 micrograms oral solution 2 hourly. I do not use if previous cesarean section was being done. For PPH, as postpartum hemorrhage treatment, you give 600 micrograms orally or sublingually start a single dose taken immediately, and know that they use a second line drug if oxytocin is not available or is ineffective. For cervical ripening prior to instrumentation, you give 400 micrograms vaginally 3 hours before procedure. Used for insertion of intrauterine device, surgical termination of pregnancy, dilatation and curettage, also hysteroscopy. Note that misoprostol is associated with an increase in shivering, diarrhea, and temperature higher than 38 degrees Celsius.